Kia ora everyone. We are going to build a website. How cool. So first thing we need to do is create a folder on the desktop for our website. I'm going to call my website Now. If I jump into here, you can see that I've also put in another couple of folders. Note that they are both labelled in lowercase. This is really important for website browsers when they're searching around to find things. They don't cope with capital letters or spaces very well. So the first one is called Images. This is where we will put our image assets, and we're going to label them really nicely so that they're quite short, all lowercase, no spaces. So you could either do underscores in between words or do camel case. So start with a lowercase word and then the next word starts with a capital. More on that later. The second folder is called Styles. We will put our style sheets in there. Maybe we'll start just with the one to start with. And then within this Now folder, we will put all of our other HTML assets and anything else that we might need to bring in. So that is going to be our website folder. Secondly, you will see that I've created a Now Backups. Ultimately, they want to sit on a Google Drive or a OneDrive or just somewhere that's not your desktop. This is where we would put at the end of a day's session, once we've saved everything in our website file, we will copy it across to our Now Backups so that if something happens to our original file, we've got access to it. So let's just see. So I've already done one, and I'll show you what it can look like again. So I've finished here. So it's now the next day. I'm going to copy, and in my backups area I am going to paste. There it goes. File name's not going to be very helpful for me. I don't know, what version it is, especially if we had a whole bunch of nows. So I need to rename, and what you can see is I'm going to go underscore v2 for version 2 underscore. I'm going to start with the month 09. We'll pretend it's the 27th. Oh, it is the 27th. No worry, no need to pretend. 23 the year. And then I've got a backup. And what I would note as I go through my file, through those backup folders, is as I was displaying them, they get more and more complete, if you like. There's more website that's been built. So this is really important because if something's happened to this, I can go back to my backup. I'd take a copy of it, put it back on my desktop and rename it so it was just Now, and then off I'd go. So let's create some files. Visual Code Studio, or Visual Studio Code, is what we're going to use. It is an IDE. That stands for Integrated Development Environment, which means we can do everything within it. So I need to go top right to File. The first thing I need to do is open a folder. The folder I want to open is the folder of my website, which is Now. So I've selected that. There it goes. Now, you can see it here. If I open it, you can see that there are two files within it. And if I click on those little downward arrows, or they were sideways but downward, you can see there's nothing in them. All good. Next thing we need to do, we need to create a new file. First one we're going to create is the index page. Index is another name for a home page. It's really important to call it index.html, and that is for, oh, sorry, I'll do it this way. Oh yeah, sometimes it just chooses not to do it first time around. Oh yeah, here we go, .html, create, boom. Okay, there it is. I know that this is good because it's got the little angle brackets. Alright, needs to be called index so that the browser can find it. If it's called anything else, the browser's constantly searching for an index page, it gets confused. We don't want to confuse the browsers that are on the World Wide Web. Second file that we want to create is a style sheet. So I'm going to open styles folder, so the little arrows pointing downwards. File, New File. I'm going to call it style.css, enter, and I'll just add the .css here because where it says Save As Type, all files, I need to make it a CSS. Oh, it didn't land where I wanted it to, or no, it hasn't, so let's drag it in there. Yes, I do want you to move it there. Fantastic. Okay, so if I close it, right, disappears. Alright, so it's there. Right, action onto the index page. We need to give a web browser some points of reference. So I'm going to click Shift exclamation mark. I get two choices. I can either click on one exclamation mark or three. I'm going to choose one. There we go, a bit of pre-filled information. We are declaring that this document type is going to be HTML. That is Hypertext Markup Language. We often refer to it as code, but it's not real code at all. But it's a markup language. The next line declares that this HTML document is in the language of English. Now, if I just click on that top HTML, I then can see that the bottom closing tag is highlighted. It's really good. That's just a nice little checker. So it's got the backslash before HTML. Then I've got head on line 3, and if I click that, all of that information, so lines 4 to 6 at the moment, belong inside head. When I add more information in there, what I'm going to do is separate it out a bit. So I'm just going to do that. Now, everything within the head tells the browser to do something with this website, but it doesn't actually display on the page. The body, however, is the stuff that is going to be the content of the website page. So we're going to be working within the body, but we'll also put things in the head. It's good to divide them so that you can find them easily, and actually I'm going to indent them. And how you set up your HTML will either make it really easy to read or really challenging to read. We want easy. Okay, I'm going to pause there and I'll start another one soon.